A madwoman was tied to a tree trunk to give birth, enduring 3 days and 3 nights of agony. Her screams kept the entire village awake. After giving birth, Granny Zhang poured a basin of cold water on her and sent her rolling back into the mountains. She really did roll, then crawled back up the mountain, her hair smeared with mud. The villagers breathed a sigh of relief. Finally, it was quiet. Granny Zhang took the baby boy, named him Xiaoqiang, and never mentioned his mother. When Xiaoqiang was 5, a group of strangers passed through, asking from house to house if they had seen the woman with the star-shaped scar on her wrist. She wasn't very bright and had been missing for years. Granny Zhang bumped into her, slammed the door shut, and bluntly said, "No." When Xiaoqiang was 7, he started school and was chased by classmates every day who called him a madwoman's son. He cried and grabbed his grandmother's sleeve, asking, "What does my mother look like?" Granny Zhang picked up a broom and hit him, yelling, "She's dead. If you ask again, I'll break your legs." That day, Xiaoqiang was hiding in a cave in the back mountain when someone gently touched her shoulder. The madwoman squatted beside her, grinning foolishly, carrying a few wild eggs. She carefully placed them at Xiaoqiang's feet, pointed to her own heart, and then to her. Xiaoqiang grabbed a stone and threw it at her, yelling, "Get out of here. It's all your fault. People are laughing at me now." The wild eggs shattered, spilling yellow liquid all over the ground. The madwoman reached out her dirty hands to scoop them up, but when she couldn't hold them, she laid down and licked them. Xiaoqiang, disgusted, ran home vomiting all the way. The next day, there was a bunch of wild grapes on the windowsill. The third day, a few wild chrysanthemums. The fourth day, nothing at all. The madwoman had fallen while picking wild berries and lay in bed for 3 days, unable to move. Just then, Granny Zhang fell ill with a strange disease. Her stomach swelled up like a drum, and she writhed in pain on the bed. The doctors all shook their heads and sighed. Daju squatted at the door, crying, "If mother is gone, what will become of this family?" In the middle of the night, the door to the woodshed was pushed open and the madwoman slipped in. Her eyes shone with a frightening light. She knelt beside Granny Zhang's bed and reached out to press her navel. Granny Zhang was about to curse when she saw the madwoman pull out a handful of grass roots, chew them into a green paste, and lie sprawled out. Daju rushed in and grabbed her, yelling, "You madwoman, you're trying to harm people." But Granny Zhang suddenly coughed up several mouthfuls of black liquid, and her stomach visibly softened, filling the room with a stench. Yet, Granny Zhang was able to sit up. She stared at the madwoman huddled in the corner and, for the first time, didn't utter a curse. From then on, the madwoman went into the mountains during the day and always returned in the evening, always carrying a handful of grass or a few leaves, which she silently placed on the stove, no longer grinning foolishly. Granny Zhang used these grasses to boil water and drank it, and her condition improved day by day. Old man Lu from the village had legs so swollen that he couldn't walk. When the madwoman saw him, she would tug at his trouser leg. Old man Lu cursed at her, and she would turn and rush up the mountain, returning with a handful of blue leaves, gesturing for him to apply them to his legs. Old Lu, desperate as a last resort, applied the ointment for 3 days, and miraculously, the swelling in his legs subsided, and he could walk again. This news spread like wildfire, and the villagers began secretly seeking out the madwoman. If a child had a fever, she would give them white flowers. If a wife had difficulty conceiving, she would point to a sharp, stabbing pain, and it always worked. When Xiaoqiang was 12, bears were rampant in the mountains, specifically targeting children. Every household locked their doors before dark, but the madwoman went deep into the mountains every day, always returning with a broken heart. Granny Zhang scolded her. "Are you courting death? You think you're so clever?" He just kept his head down, twisting the corner of his clothes, and remained silent. Until one day, a hunter found 3 dead bears near the bear's den, their throats all bitten through. A deep human tooth mark was left in the mud, with half a tattered cloth stuck to it. When the hunter returned to the village and told them, the whole village fell silent. That evening, the madwoman dragged her leg back, blood dripping from her mouth, clutching something tightly in her hand. She walked up to Xiaoqiang and opened her palm. It was a bare tooth, strung together with grass to form a necklace. Xiaoqiang didn't take it, staring at his bleeding calf, and suddenly cried, "Does it hurt?" The madwoman paused, shook her head vigorously, and grinned, revealing her missing tooth. From that day on, Xiaoqiang wore a bare tooth necklace wherever he went. If someone laughed at him, he would puff out his chest and say, "My mother gave it to me." Would your mother dare to fight a bear? Granny Zhang let the madwoman move into the side room, and her bowl was added to the dining table. She still didn't speak, but her eyes always followed Xiaoqiang. Xiaoqiang taught her to write, first mother, then son, but she couldn't learn it and frantically pulled at her hair. Xiaoqiang held her hand and began to explain, stroke by stroke. That year, the harvest was poor and grain prices soared. Traffickers came to the village, specifically targeting young girls. Chunyan, only 10 years old, was dragged out by her father to be sold. Chunyan cried and struggled, and her father raised his hand to strike her. Suddenly, the madwoman rushed over to protect Chunyan. The traffickers laughed. This crazy woman was worth 3 jin of rice. Should they sell her or not? Chunyan's father was actually tempted. Xiaoqiang grabbed a shovel and rushed out, shouting, "Who dares touch my mother?" Just as the traffickers were about to strike, the madwoman suddenly turned and stared at him, her eyes like those of a wild beast protecting its cubs, frighteningly fierce. The traffickers, feeling uneasy under her gaze, spat and left. That night, the madwoman sat on the doorstep, Xiaoqiang beside her. She suddenly hummed a tuneless, soft melody. Xiaoqiang leaned on her shoulder and gently called out, "Mother." She trembled, slowly raised her hand, and stiffly patted his back. In late autumn, the group of outsiders returned and went directly to the clan chief. The elderly man leading them unfolded an old portrait. "This is my daughter. She went missing 16 years ago after a traumatic experience. She has a heart-shaped scar on her wrist. I've been searching for her for 16 years." The girl in the portrait was delicate and pretty, without a trace of her former ferocity. The clan chief led them to the Zhang family's house. The madwoman was drying herbs in the yard, her sleeves rolled up, revealing the heart-shaped scar clearly. The old man's eyes welled up with tears. "My daughter," he cried. But the madwoman hid behind Xiaoqiang, clutching her clothes tightly. The old man tried to pull her away, but she suddenly screamed and threw the herbs at him. Xiaoqiang stopped her. "Mother, don't be afraid," the old man said, wiping away his tears. She was very clever when she was young, recognizing hundreds of herbs. The family suffered a tragedy, and the trauma caused her to become like this. She pulled out a bag of silver dollars. "Thank you for taking care of me. I'm taking her home to get treatment." Grandma Zhang's hands trembled as she looked at the silver dollars. Daju squatted on the ground, clutching his head. Xiaoqiang's face turned pale. Suddenly, the madwoman broke free, ran to the stove, picked up 2 cornbread buns, gave one to Xiaoqiang, and clutched the other tightly, standing back beside her, refusing to move. The old man sighed. She didn't want to leave. He left his address and money, saying he would send her back whenever she changed her mind. That night, Xiaoqiang sat in the side room until midnight. The madwoman broke the cornbread bun in half, giving her the larger one and eating the smaller one herself in small bites. After finishing, she wiped her mouth and smiled. Xiaoqiang smiled too, but as he smiled, tears fell. "Mother, do you want to go home?" The madwoman tilted her head, thought for a moment, shook her head vigorously, pointed at her, and patted her own chest. Just then, Xiaoqiang knocked on Grandma Zhang's door and said, "Let mother stay. She's my mother." Grandma Zhang gazed out the window as dawn broke. She didn't speak, locking the money left by the stranger at the bottom of the box and throwing the key into the stove. From then on, the villagers stopped calling her a madwoman. The children called her Grass Granny, and the adults called her Xiaoqiang's mother. She still frequently went into the mountains, returning with not only herbs, but sometimes a handful of wild chestnuts, sometimes a handful of red hawthorn. When Xiaoqiang was 17, someone from the town's clinic came to ask Grass Granny to work as a pharmacist, saying he recognized white grass as a rare herb. Grass Granny hid behind Xiaoqiang, who said, "My mother won't go. She's shy." The clinic staff left regretfully. Xiaoqiang turned and asked, "Mother, do you want to go?" Grass Granny tugged at his sleeve, pointed to the chickens and the herbs drying in the yard, and finally gently tapped his chest with her finger, smiling. The true home of a person is not found in blood ties or promises, but in the presence of someone you can't bear to leave. The purest love is often unspoken, hidden only in the wild fruit offered and the figure standing in front of you. Don't listen to people's hearts with your ears. Use your eyes to see how they act as true family. It's not about blood relations, but about those who are willing to do anything for you.